Right now you're seeing my knee-jerk wildcard reaction after the bad game week 29, but that wildcard is just that, a knee-jerk reaction. So today we're going to make a transfer target list for your wildcard only, not solely for game week 30, but we're going to look in the future. So if you're wildcarding right now and you want to get the best players possible, we're going to go through all the goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders and forwards, and we're going to pick the best possible players for your wildcard selection. I'm going to go through the fixtures, and if we have some news like Darwin and Gabriel are a fresh new yellow flags. When I made that list before, they didn't appear as injured, but now they are. We have more confirmed injuries on our way, so we're going to go through everything. But before we do all that, if you enjoy such type of content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's really easy. Sorry, you just have to press the right square on the video, or you can just go below the video and hit the subscribe button. You can like the video by doing the things together, and you can leave a comment if you want to discuss something. I hope you enjoyed this type of videos because they are very useful for me, and I hope they are going to be useful for you. So we are now going to start with the goalkeepers position. Going into goalkeepers, when we use our wildcard, it's very important that we pick the goalkeepers right now and get with them until the rest of the season. Doing a goalkeeper transfer is never a pretty good decision because one goal conceded and his appeal is gone. You're losing the everything basically. Yeah, if he makes saves, he can restore those points, but it's a risk that I'm not willing to take. So when I change my goalkeepers, is mostly on my wildcards. If I have an injury on my goalkeeper or he's performing really bad, then I'm going to do that. But wildcard on game week 30, you have so many double ups and blanks, so you have to navigate outfield players. It's most important to pick right now the best possible goalkeepers going forward. And for me, the goalkeepers you pick right now should be having a double up. There is 0 point in picking a single game week player in goal, because if you want to use your bench boost and you still have it, you want to get the double for the goalkeeper as well. So you may pick a goalkeeper with a single double or something like that, but regardless of that, you will need a double game week player. Players like Leno, a player like Areola, they do not have a planned double week up until the end of the season unless anything tragically happens. But unless that happens, they are only with single game weeks, which is not a problem in weeks that are just going to be on your bench or something like that. But when you need the when you need the goalkeeper to be on the field and to play there, it's really important that you pick a goalkeeper with a double game week player. So without further ado, let's jump into the goalkeepers pool. Two goalkeepers that I've selected, Onana and Neto, are going to have a double. Neto is going to have a double in 34. It's going to be Villa and Wolves, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go here and see. Yeah, it's Villa here. It's Villa here. And it's most likely a confirmed fixture that for 34 there is going to be a game that was postponed due to FA Cup against Wolves. Now that Wolves are out of the FA Cup, you can see that Brighton's, Chelsea, City, United, Newcastle and Spurs fixtures are crossed out. That means that in game week 34 Onana isn't going to have a double up, so maybe it's worth picking him for the longer duration. As you can see, Brentford, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, you have Bournemouth playing against Crystal Palace and Luton, so Onana Neto combo can work pretty well. The issue is that in 34 you need a goalkeeper with a double that is having an easier fixture run. So for example, Arsenal are going to play most probably against Chelsea. If they have a game in 34, most probably, I'm not sure. There, Villa are not having one, Bournemouth we already discussed, Brighton are not going to have a double up, Burnley are not having a double up, Palace is a good option. They're going to play West Ham and Newcastle, so that's a good thing for them. Everton are most probably going to play against Forest and Liverpool. So Pickford is with an appeal. It's not a bigger appeal than Villa and Wolves for Bournemouth, but Everton are defensively better than what were the names? Villa. We looking at Liverpool, by the way, they're going to play Fulham and most probably Everton. So picking a goalkeeper from their team doesn't look such a bad thing. Luton are not having a double up. Those three teams are not having Everton. Sheffield is going to play Burnley, and who are they going to face in Gameweek 29 before the postponements? I'm not completely sure. Let's check. So we go here, we go to Sheffield, and we go to their postponed game. It was against Manchester United, so a game of United. It's Burnley and United, so there is a high chance that they double up this week. But come on, we are not picking the Burnley goalkeeper. Wolves are having a double up, but it's Arsenal and Brentford and Bournemouth. Sorry, West Ham are not having a double up. So if you want to develop and put a goalkeeper for 34 that is going to have a very okayish double up, and you still might need him here and there, the Bournemouth goalkeeper is a great shout out, and the Liverpool goalkeeper is a great shout out. With Liverpool, you're getting a Fulham and Everton game, which is ideal. The issue is we don't know when Alisson is going to be back, so it's going to be a little bit risky to go for Kelleher. So hence the pick of Onana and Neto look very, very okayish, if I have to be perfectly honest. The issue is in 37, if we see, Bournemouth are not going to have a double up, so it's getting a little bit tougher to decide. Maybe Arsenal, so maybe we need to pick. It's tough to get a goalkeeper with a double for 34 and then two goalkeepers with double in 37. So the thing I'm going to do is get United for 37. They're going to face Arsenal and Newcastle. Not an ideal fixture run, so maybe as a double goalkeeper he is no good. Spurs are facing Burnley and either Chelsea or City here, because the City fixture has been postponed. Wolves are facing Palace here, so maybe a Wolves goalkeeper is going to be alright, but he's having a single game week then. Everton is Sheffield, so maybe the thing is we need to pick a strong goalkeeper for the double up in 37, and then a goalkeeper with a good fixture. For example, Neto is having a Brentford away, so it seems like Neto and Onana is a really good combo. I know United are facing Arsenal and Newcastle, which doesn't scream clean sheets, but screams save points for sure, and having Neto with a double in 34, the best double possible, and having him with an okay fixture in 37, so we can rely on him, it's a good thing. The other good thing is going for Pickford. Forest and Liverpool, yeah, not the most ideal fixture against Liverpool, but it's a derby day and they don't seem to score a lot of goals. And then Sheffield at home, so Pickford might get the notch here. He can replace Onana in 32, so he can face Liverpool, and then it's Onana against Bournemouth, then it's a double up, and then Onana faces those two fixtures, and then Onana has a double against Arsenal and Newcastle, and then Pickford faces Sheffield, so there is a high possibility of a clean sheet then. Spurs is another good option, but they do not have a fixture in 34, just like United. They're going to have a fixture, but it's going to be a fixture in midweek most probably, so we have to see how it goes there. So maybe it's not going to be Newcastle. United fixture, who? Manchester United. Against who was that fixture? So Brentford, Chelsea, it's in the 20th of March. So in the 20th of March they face Newcastle. Yeah, it's Newcastle. Yeah, I'm right there. So West Ham not a double, Wolves not a double here. City's goalkeeper, by the way, it's Fulham and Spurs, so not ideal as well. Okay, we've taken a lot of time discussing goalkeepers. This is going to be a hell of a long video for sure, but I like it that way. So I'm going to start adding some names. So Onana for sure, then it's going to be Neto, then it's going to be Ederson as a great pick, and then it's going to be Pickford. I like the combo of Pickford and Ederson with Pickford and Onana, because as you can see, Yeah, and Neto with both of them is playing really well. Maybe Ederson is a better shout out than Onana, but Onana faces more shots and saves more because in 34 they're going to have a game week, but then you are playing Neto Swash Pickford, so you wouldn't care. And then for the double up you have Fulham and Spurs, by the way, so not ideal for sure. Or here the Spurs game will be postponed here. We do not have any confirmation, but maybe Onana is the right choice. I know Arsenal at home isn't ideal, but United against bigger sides tend to do okayish at home, so I wouldn't bet against them to do alright against Arsenal. So for sure Onana and Pickford look like the better combo that I would like to pick here for the double up. So we have a playing goalkeeper and we have everything there. Okay, I believe we are done with the goalkeepers. It took us around 10 minutes to finish the goalkeepers discussion. So I'm adding number 2. So it's defenders. Here we are going to take even more time, so strap up and don't forget to have a really good time. Let's start by digesting how we're going to approach the double ups here. So with defenders, you need to sort out the defenders you're going to put as placeholders, to say, like defenders that are going to just play when they have a double up and when you're going to use your bench boost. So in an ideal world you play 3-4-3 or 3-5-2. Here you need solid defenders. You need a defender from Arsenal for sure, as they tend to keep a lot of clean sheets and to score a lot of goals. Looking at the Arsenal players and going through their defenders here, it's Ben White at the top, which doesn't surprise me because he is providing a goal, 2 assists, so he's doing pretty alright in the last couple of weeks. But Saliba and Gabriel are the better picks in my opinion, especially Gabriel. Saliba is now way more more expensive than Ben White, so for sure I am adding the name of Gabriel here as a defender. There is no way I'm going without an Arsenal defender in the last run of fixtures. They're solid basically throughout the whole season, so going without one of their defenders seems suicidal. If you don't pick Ederson, you need a Manchester City defender for sure. Looking at the Manchester City defenders, I see Walker, Ake and Akanji as my best options. Akanji 90 minutes almost every time when he's fit. Ake, I believe it's the same with him, 90. He played badly against Liverpool, but he has been solid and he has scored some goals, so maybe Ake is an option. And Walker is an option as well because he plays 90 minutes basically every time when they face a stronger opposition. The issue here is with the Champions League, so we don't know how they're going to be rotated. But saying that, John Stones is back into the frame. He scored a goal against Liverpool. Guardiola is back. He played in the FA Cup, so we have a lot of defenders. I'm not going to select Ruben Dias as he's the most expensive and sometimes he gets the odd benching. Like he played 6 games in a row and then he got the bench against Liverpool. So here I'm adding Walker, Stones and Take. For me, those 3 defenders from City are the best ones, and I've selected Walker as a placeholder in my wildcard team. Next up, speaking about fixture runs and going to have a double in 37 for sure, it's going to be a Chelsea lineup. I know they have a blank in 34, but 100,000% they will have the fixtures postponed somewhere here, as they need to face Spurs, they need to face Arsenal, and I believe now their fixture against Brighton has been postponed, so they need to face Brighton. That doesn't scream clean sheets or anything like that, but that for sure screams a playing player. And having in this vicinity of fixtures a game against Burnley, Sheffield, Everton, West Ham, who have been struggling to score some goals, it's a really good thing to go for a Chelsea defender. So for sure we need to look at their defense. And we see that Thiago Silva, Disasi are on the top. Cowell is with a toe injury, unknown return date. Thiago Silva hasn't played in a while. He hasn't returned against Newcastle, but he is soon to return for sure. He scored a non-goal. Oh no, he scored in the FA Cup a non-goal. So Disasi is the guy that has been playing. But picking aside, look at Chilwell. Oh my god, 20 points only. That's embarrassing. He has 1 assist. Oh my god, that's really embarrassing to think of that he was the most desired player at the start of the season. Let's leave it there. But Gusto has been playing 90 minutes. We don't know when Reece James is coming back. So in my opinion, Gusto can play as a right wing back and he can play as a right back. So immediately he is going into the short list. And he's the only Chelsea defender that I'm going to mention, as the others are not of a pretty good appeal for me. Speaking about teams with an okay fixture run and a possible double in some of the weeks, like we have Bournemouth, we have Everton, and we have Wolves. The Wolves are having Burnley, West Ham, Forest, so that's an okay fixture run. But then they face Arsenal and most probably Bournemouth. So here I would go for Wolves defenders for sure. Even though they face Arsenal, their defenders can just be on the bench even if they have a double up. And for me, a player of the status of Dawson is a really good player. So I'm adding Dawson here. The thing is that Ain't Nuri has been playing really well and he has scored a goal, he made an assist. So he has a really good chance of returning once again. So I'm going to pick Ain't Nuri or Semedo. But Semedo got an assist, but elsewhere he got only 2 assists, so no Semedo for me. The guy that I'm going to put is Ain't Nuri. Did I write his name right? No, it's only 8 Nuri. So 8 Nuri. Dawson and here Koeman. For me, they're the same defender. Just pick whoever is fit. That's from Wolves' perspective. We need to include into the Bournemouth frame and add Zabarny. For me, he has performed really well, so adding Zabarny here wouldn't be a mistake. And Brent Waite as the cheapest brand. How can I spell his name? So we go to Everton and we select Brent Waite. Okay, so Brent Waite. Okay, I spelled it wrong regardless. So Brent Waite. Okay, Barney. Okay, so now we have the names correctly. We need to look deeply into the fixture runs. So West Ham, they do not have a double up, so they are not of an interest for me. I will have Gabriel and a City defender playing every week, and the other will be rotating. So Spurs, they will have a double up against Chelsea and against City, but Chelsea and City with that fixture run, it doesn't scream a lot of clean sheets. Sheffield, I'm not interested, to be perfectly honest. Forest, no, they're not having a double up. Newcastle, on the other hand, we can include a player from Newcastle. Yeah, in 34, you're going to put him on the bench, which is ideal. But then in 37, they face Brighton and United. So you can play him against Sheffield, you can play him against Burnley. The issue here is that going to Newcastle, Botman got injury that is going to take him out of the field for 6 to 9 months, which is bad. Trippier is with an injury, so we don't know what is he saying. Livramento is with an injury. So we are left with Lascelles, who didn't play a lot of minutes here. Shar, who is very expensive, 5.4. Or Dan Burn, who plays on the left. Here I'm willing to take a risk and just put Lascelles as my solid defender from Newcastle. I know we are getting a lot above the Lascelles. Okay, so that's his name. But Nottingham, not Nottingham. Newcastle are a sleeper for sure. United, I don't like their defenders a lot and I prefer Onana if I'm going to select someone. City, we discussed we need a defender from City if we're on a wild card for sure. Wootton, no way I'm including anyone at the moment. Liverpool, until Trent returns, I'm not interested to invest in them. Bradley is a good option, but he is soon going to be not available for selection. Fulham do not have a double up. Everton we discussed. And now we are back to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are a team that are going to double most probably in 34. And that double is going to be against... Who was it going to be? So let's go and see. So Crystal Palace, their game against Newcastle was postponed. So maybe they face Newcastle and they have a double up against West Ham and Newcastle at home, so 2 home fixtures. That means that I'm willing to take a risk and put this guy in my defensive talks because I like the look of his double, and then I can play him against Bournemouth, I can play him against Forest, against West Ham and Palace and Newcastle, then against Fulham and against Wolves he can be played. He can be benched in the rest of the game. So yeah, Munoz is a pretty strong contender to join the team and even higher in contention compared to a Wolves defender or someone like that. So I can rely on the double game week players then. And especially against Brentwaite, if we have Pickford, I'm not picking a double from Everton in defense. But speaking about the defense, it's Chelsea talked about, Burnley no way. Brighton, they have a double up against City and then a double up, no, not a double up, so they're going to be postponed after 34 against City here and maybe Chelsea fixture in 37, but for now Newcastle and Chelsea, nope. Brentford, they have a pretty okay fixture run, but without a double I don't find them very appealing. Maybe you can pick them for 33, then bench in 34 even though it's Wootton, and then play Everton and Fulham, but then you have another double up. It's pretty tricky. We need to find a way not to fall into the trap of going only with double game week players, but for defenders it's important to have them sorted out because you don't want to waste transfer on defenders. You want to go and chase the differential captain or something like that. So for me, picking Brentford player in defense or in goal is a waste of time. That's why I'm not picking a single game week players in defense in any shape or form, but in the forward line I'm for sure going to aim at some single players like Bowen, Watkins, Tony, but we'll speak about them in a minute. Bournemouth, we already put a defender in. Aston Villa, no way am I putting a defender without a double, and Arsenal, I already got a defender. So we're done with defense. We are spending on average over 10 minutes. So let's hope this is shorter than 1 hour video. Sorry for that, but I hope you enjoy them, and I believe that this transfer target list is going to be really helpful for a lot of players. Now let's go to midfield. We're going to put in 3 midfielders, and we're going to start by picking the best players there are. So doubles or no doubles, we need players from the better sides. So we are going to start by looking at players from the top of the table. First of all, it's Arsenal going into midfield. I like 2 of the players there, maybe 3. The first one is Saka. No way I'm going anywhere without him as an option. Next up is Odegaard. Odegaard has been performing really well, but if you can see his appeal, the points he got, it's very separated, and he's 8.5 compared to Rice, who has been scoring here and there and is the main reason why they're in the title challenge. Has performed really well as well. The issue with him is that he's a holding DM and he has only 2 double-digit holes. If we need a hole, we're going to need an Odegaard-esque of players. So we're going to put Odegaard in for sure. Now, next up, we're going to look at Havertz. Havertz has been performing really well and he has 4 goals in a row. and he has found his form once again. From 8 goals, 4 has been in consecutive games. I know a game against City isn't a good game to buy him, but then he has a double up in 34, and yeah, it's not a bad thing for sure to have him as a double game week player. A little bit of a differential here and there, so I'm going to put him here as well. Is it with Z? Yes, it's with a Z, sorry. So that those are the players that I'm picking from Arsenal. Next up we go to Liverpool, and in midfield I like only Salah. Compared to Luis Diaz, Szoboszlai, McAllister, they're not reliable. Elliott, Diogo Jota is another player that I like, but for now he is injured, so the only player added here is going to be Salah, without a single ounce of remorse. And next up we are going to Manchester City. Looking at Manchester City players, I really enjoy Foden as a player, and maybe KDB, but for now I don't think he is a good option, with Son, Salah and Haaland being the better premium picks to say. In my opinion, going for KDB is going to be a waste, but Foden on the other hand, he has been their best player this season. In my opinion, is going to be a great addition to the side. Looking at Doku, Rodri, Bernardo, they're great, but they are not consistent. Yeah, Rodri has been getting some odd 10 pointers here and there, but there has been a lot of weeks with the 3-pointer, and the issue is that he doesn't take penalties. If I want to take a penalty holding GM, I will go to Aston Villa and I will pick Douglas Luiz, and I'm immediately adding him to the frame. I know that he doesn't have double up or anything like that, but being on penalties is a great shout out. Bailey as well, put into the frame as well for discussion. Again, no double ups, but he's such a good player that he can be a bench option for sure. Looking at the other top 4 contenders, we're going to go to Spurs, and we're going to add Son, Richarlison. Maddison, I don't see him as an option. I have been very disappointed with the way he has been performing, while I was very impressed with Kulusevski. So the 3 players here are going to be Son, Richarlison and Kulusevski. Did I write it right? Kulusevski, yeah. Those 3 players I have been impressed, especially with Son. Richarlison is not a bad shout out. He was showcased in my differential video to say so. He's a really good player. Brennan Johnson is a great player, but he hasn't been consistent with minutes, so I'm not picking him. Going into the final team fighting for top 4, it's Manchester United, and here I'm a little bit hesitant. Should I go for Bruno, Rashford and Garnacho? The 3 of them, they have been performing relatively well, especially Bruno. He has delivered 2 assists and a goal in the last 3, and having a double up in the future. So 2 double ups, Sheffield and Newcastle. Not a double up, 2 postponed fixtures, especially the one against Sheffield in 34. If they play it then, it's going to be a pretty okay fixture for a semi-blank game week. So I'm going to add Bruno to the list as well. So Bruno, then Garnacho, as he is cheap and reliable, and the thing I'm worried about the most is Rashford. He has scored 2 in a row, but he hasn't been playing very well, if I have to be honest. A penalty here and a really wonder goal here. He missed several chances against Liverpool and they were bad misses, so I'm not going to rely on Rashford. Speaking about the rest of the sides, Bournemouth, I don't fancy any of their midfielders. Brentford, until I see Mbeumo play, no way. Brighton, I can pick Gross. Gross has been performing really well, and they're going to have a lot of fixtures being played, like 2 fixtures, even though they have this such a bad fixture on Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, United, Newcastle, Villa. They're a great shout out, but yeah, I'm not picking him with that fixture. I'm sorry, Brighton players. Burnley, no way in midfield. Chelsea. We are now to the maybe the founding of the season this season. It's Cole Palmer. I cannot go without Cole Palmer as an option. For me, with so many double ups on the horizon, look at how many double ups are on the horizon. 3 postponed fixtures, so 2 double ups are going to be confirmed. It doesn't matter, it's against Spurs, Arsenal, Brighton. With those attacking options, they can be postponed in or rescheduled in basically any week, as they do not have European football. Only Arsenal has, so in 34 maybe it's going to be Arsenal. Apart from that, Spurs, Brighton, a lot of great fixtures. Sterling is a okay shout out, so I'm going to put him in. I know that he hasn't been performing really well, but it's still Sterling and it's still a great FPL player and Premier League player. Looking at Crystal Palace, of course we're going to find Eze and Ulise, of course, but Ulise has been injured and we don't know when he's returning. But Eze, on the other hand, they are going to have one double against Newcastle and it's in 34, so it's pretty soon. On penalties, Eze is a great shout out in my opinion. Looking at more players, Everton, I don't fancy their midfield. Fulham, no way. Liverpool spoke about Wooten, I don't care about them at the double ups or a midfield, maybe in attack. I will buy someone, but for now, no. City, United talked about. Newcastle, on the other hand, Gordon has been their best player this season and he deserves a shout out into the wildcard. Thoughts and having 2 postponed fixture and that green run of a fixture run. If on a wildcard, I will be relying heavily on Newcastle players. They don't have anything to deviate them from English Premier League football, so I'm no way going without a Newcastle player if I'm on a wild card. So I have to rethink of that midfield. Maybe without Garnacho, we have to see. But yeah, it's tough to pick only 3 midfielders, hence I got Isaac. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. If Isaac is in, it's difficult, but yeah, let's speak about Forest. I like the Gibbs White appeal. I'm going to add him. Not because he is a great player, but because... No, he is a great player, sorry, but he is the most reliable one from the Forest team and they deserve at least 1 player. Sheffield, I'm not interested. Spurs talked about. West Ham. West Ham are not having a double up, but Bowen with that fixture run, like Wolves, Fulham, Palace, Wooten as well, Newcastle who are not good defensively, Spurs who are not good defensively. For me, you can have some space for Bowen and for sure for Kudus, as they're their most attacking players. And the final team here is Wolves. At the moment, their 2 best players, 20th of April 1 month and 11th of May. So no way I'm putting anyone ahead of them. From Wolves, Cunha is maybe coming back, but we're not sure. So now we finished with the midfield. I believe I own already 5 of the best midfielders on my wildcard knee-jerk, so I did alright. Maybe I need to find some Newcastle space, maybe not. We have to see, but for now I'm delighted with the midfield. And last but not least, we're going to go with the forwards. So here, let's add them. Okay, what I did wrong here about the formatting. So it's forwards. No, not like that. So it's forwards. Okay, I did something wrong here. Sorry about that. Let's go. Okay, I fixed it. And we're going to talk about forwards. Now we are not going to go player by player or team by team, because there are a lot less forwards that I'm interested in than they are players. And for sure, basically the top of the list is going to look like a pretty solid representation of what my forward line is going to look like. Let's start by adding the obvious one. It's Erling Haaland. Let's stop with the boldness. So Erling Haaland is going to be one. Watkins for sure. Darwin. Tony. Højlund. Isaac. Just by those 6 players, I'm pretty delighted. Then I go for Solanke. He's a great shout out as well with a possible double up. So we have 7 players here with double ups without Watkins and maybe Tony, but the rest of them are going to have double ups. Looking at the lines, Morris, I'm not too interested in Wooten at the moment. Cunyan, no. Jackson, no way. Wood, no. Wilson, no. Semenyo, no. Mateta, maybe an option, but Eze is more. Hoywontare, Tukbene, no. Maupay, no. Amduani. Muniz. Muniz is a guy that I forgot. So I'm adding Muniz to the frame here. Gakpo, no way. Nketiah, no way. Edward, no way. Archer, Jesus, Awoni, Calvert-Lewin, Raul Jimenez, Forster. Fofana is not a bad shout out. Let's add him just to have a representative of Burnley here. Brown, Rodriguez, Beto, Broya, Werner, Ings, Duran, Osua, Origi, Emery, Enesio now, Brewster, Mubama, Fraser, Donley, no. The rest of the players, I'm not too interested. So yeah, the forward line was just way quicker because we know the forwards, and those forwards we have to pick from them, and we just need to select 3 of them with the best possible fixtures. Haaland, Isaac and Darwin for me are the best probable option at the moment. If you're wildcarding, double ups in 34 for Darwin, a double up then in 37 for Isaac and Haaland, so that's going to be a good one. You can sell Darwin for a double game week player, so you can put players with an okay fixture in 34. You're not needed just to use for doubles. You need to have some players here and there, and then in 37 you can invest heavily. So for 34, the way that the team is going to look, it's most probably going to be Darwin, Haaland, and if you don't want Isaac, you can go for Solanke that time. And after that, you can pick, instead of Solanke, you can immediately get Isaac, and you can replace Darwin with Højlund or with someone you like more. I don't see anyone better. You can go for Bowen, Gordon, and etc. You can replace them immediately with 34 double up, so you can be prepared. The weeks between 34 and 37 are going to be the time when we set up our teams for bench boost. So most importantly, pick the players for 37 double ups and just go through 34 without owning so many double game week players. It's going to be a week where a lot of players are going to activate their free hit if they haven't already, so they are going to be with a lot of double game weeks players. But if you own Pickford, if you own, for example, Gabriel, if you own Dawson, if you own maybe another defender, you have a lot of defenders there with a double up. If you own Saka, if you own Salah, if you own let's say some other players, it's more than enough. You're not going to rest player playing against Sheffield, for example, just because he doesn't have a double up. So yeah, we have a lot of options. This video is almost 40 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you will not dislike the video because it's too long. I spoke a lot about things and how I'm going to plan accordingly. This knee-jerk wildcard isn't looking as bad as I was thinking it looks, so we made a change to the goalkeeper, and maybe we can change Brentwaite to Lascelles, and maybe that's it. We can change maybe Lascelles with Zabarny. I know they face against each other, but now you have 3 defenders with a double up in 34. So yeah, it's not looking as bad as I imagined. So yeah, I don't think we need to improve a lot here. I think we're alright. Maybe a Spurs player is missing. That is going to be detrimental because they're scoring a lot of goals. If you can find space for someone, go for it. But yeah, for now I believe this team looks amazingly well. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, once again subscribe. But for now guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.